Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of the Electric Oofaloos podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Duran Baron, aka Jetpack Cat 076 on Letterboxd. But I would be lost if not for my co-host.
Your boy Dominic Beltran, Shadow Spider 004 on Letterbox, where it's always a party, always a good time.
Always.
Unless I'm watching any of the Sandlot sequels, and then it's a bad time.
I've been
But
seeing those, man.
I've seen both of them now, so I don't ever have to watch them again.
There you go. No,
Yeah.
I've been enjoying seeing you review them. That's for sure.
Well,
Well, oh,
oh, I was
my
just gonna
friends,
say it's great to be back.
it is good to be back. It's been a while. It's been too long. Um, but here we are,
Here we are,
back in it,
back in the
and
habit.
back in the habit, as some would say.
Exactly. We'd like to give a quick shout out to our good friend Wessie Anderson,
What's the name?
who sometimes we call him Wussy Anderson, but today's not that day because he, out of gratefulness to us for being such great podcasters, the only podcasters, and also because he was getting tired of us not uploading anything, donated um state-of-the-art recording equipment for both of us so
Oh,
we could
absolutely.
record a new podcast and also advertise his new film, um Space
Asteroid
Cabin,
City.
I think.
Oh, oh, yeah, Space
Yeah,
Cabin.
yeah, Space
That's it. That's it.
which I told him we'd go see. Uh and I intend to keep that promise at some point in my life.
And to be clear, this is the sequel to Meteorite Village.
Which I don't know about you, but I was personally a big fan of.
Huge fan of Meteorite Village, and so can't wait to see Space Town, the sequel.
Oh man. Good old Wussy Anderson. What a
Good
guy.
old wussy. We love them. We love them.
We do. So, anyways, yeah, as mentioned, it's been a hot second. Um, what's happened since last time? Was last time we recorded right before I came over?
Yes, it was.
Dang,
A lot has happened. A
a
lot has
lot has
happened.
happened. I saw Taylor Swift and my life changed for the better. So that was cool. I saw Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves 8 different times in theaters. And my life also changed because of that.
Absolutely changed you better. Yeah. Um, so I've been kind of MIA because my computer, which I record on, is um was in desperate need of a cleaning, but I thought it was like broken. Like it wouldn't boot up, it just kept crashing, and I thought the fans in it were dead. And so I ordered new fans, tried taking it apart, and realized that it was just disgusting. And
Ah,
I'm like, oh shoot. So I get in there, I do my best cleaning it. Then I realized that I was having immense difficulty taking out the fans that were already in here.
mhm.
And I'm like, well, I can't get them out. I don't want to break it. So I'll just see if cleaning it helped at all. Um, and that's all it took. And now it's working fine.
Nice.
But I, it was a simple solution for something that I thought was going to be a lot harder. Um, and then I've just been busy. Most recently in my life, I went to Fan Expo Dallas
You did.
and had a phenomenal time. Um, Spent more money than I had intended to, but
Isn't that how it goes?
that's how it goes. Um, it's been fantastic. But I had the absolute pleasure of getting to meet briefly Sean Gunn,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, he was super cool. And then the whole reason I went in the first place was a one and only Steve Burns, Steve from Blue's Clues, and what a delightful human being, and it was so much fun. So
I can only imagine. Have you watched the Blue's Clues movie yet?
I haven't yet.
Okay. I watched it a couple weeks ago and I cried. It was incredible.
It's still one that I want to see.
It
So
was really good.
I
I mean, as
look
good as a
forward.
TV movie made for like 5-year-olds is
Yeah,
gonna be, but like it was good. I liked it.
yeah, yeah. That's all I can ask for.
Exactly. That's good.
Um, so I had a great time doing that, and then just been working a lot. Yeah,
Working, you used to work at the library?
yes,
Oh, way good. We're both in our sexy librarian era.
we are in our sexy
Heck
library.
yeah. That's what we like to hear, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what we like to
Yeah,
hear. So getting to it, we already made reference to Dungeons and Dragons, but in this time since we've last recorded, there have been a number of movies that have come out that we're about halfway through the year, almost exactly halfway through the year now. We've gotten some great movies. This has, I think, been a great year for cinema, and I'm excited to talk about what we've seen up to this point, and once again go into what we is still to come.
there's a
Um,
lot.
there's a lot. There is so much, so much.
There's so
I,
many things.
I feel like this is the first year since 2020, since the pandemic, where we're really seeing movie theaters and Hollywood kind of get back on its feet and get the ball
Yeah, no.
rolling.
Studios
Last
like
year,
Warner Bros. And Pixar just hitting it out of the park.
yeah, just
We'll get there.
we'll get to
We'll get to
um I want to start this off right off the bat. I want to go into Spider Verse.
Heck yeah.
I because I I know we'll start off strong, and this is probably the wrong way to go about it. To save the best for last, but I cannot wait to bring this up. What an incredible movie!
For real. I just got back from seeing it for like the sixth time or something, and it's still just as incredible. Like, my goodness.
It much like the first one. I'm sure it's one of those movies where it just continues to get better every time you see it.
Uh-huh.
And I rewatched Into the Spider Verse the day before I went to go um, see Across the Spider Verse, and oh my gosh, I was blown away by how good it still is and how much it holds up, and I just fell in love with that movie all over again. And then going to see Across the Spider Verse, I figured it was going to be good. I figured it was going to be that
Right.
great sequel. But I'm like, how is it going to hold up? Is it going to have that same kind of originality as the first one? And it takes everything I loved about the first one and just continues it, if not improving upon.
Uh-huh.
The only reason that it gets 4.5 versus a 5 stars for me is because it does leave off on that huge cliffhanger, and there isn't really a sense of fulfillment.
Yeah, that's something I've gone kind of back and forth on. Because on the one hand, I agree. It feels, I don't want to say incomplete. I feel it does the same thing as Dune, where there's like an end to the arc and action, but it leaves on
Sure,
such a cliffhanger where you're like, this feels a little incomplete. But on
sure.
the other hand, it's a movie that is so insanely good that it's a 5-star movie. It's just not a perfect film, if that makes sense. Like the
Yeah,
first one is a perfect movie. Everything
absolutely.
about it is incredible. It's got a great art, great story, and it ends awesome. Whereas this one, you really do have to kind of consider it as part one of two. But like it's so incredible that it
Yeah,
feels wrong to me to give it like anything less. You know what I'm saying? It's a hard I kind of go back and forth on it.
No, and I see, and I think ultimately what this comes down to for me is personal preference. I have a really hard time getting into TV shows for this reason. Is I hate that every episode ends in a cliffhanger, and you have to keep going until the end of the season, and then maybe you'll get a sense of fulfillment. They may finish up that story, but then leave off on another cliffhanger. That drives me crazy. I like just contained episodes, contained stories. And so when it comes to this one, I completely agree with you. This is a 5 out of 5 movie. But if I'm giving Dune 4.5 because of the
Right.
cliffhanger, then I have to do this for Into the Spider-Verse.
Right.
However, for both cases, as soon as we get Beyond the Spider-Verse, as soon as we get Dune Part 2, chances are I will go back, rewatch these movies before the next part, and that will be a 5 out of 5.
Oh yeah. No, yep.
Because then we'll have the complete story.
Exactly. And I mean, you got to be consistent. I think Dune's also a 5-star film on my letterbox, so I guess there you go. We're
Yeah, yeah,
consistent
exactly.
boys.
We are consistent. But of course I'm sure we are discussing with light spoilers for this one and any
Yeah, yeah,
spoilers
yeah.
for other movies coming. Like when we discuss The Flash, I need to
Oh
discuss
boy, yes, we
some
do.
spoilers.
Yes, we do.
So do be warned. If you haven't seen these movies yet, please go watch them. And if you don't care about spoilers, then you're free to listen.
But how do you sleep at night?
But how do you sleep at night? That's always the question I ask myself for
Like,
different reasons.
that's fair. I understand. Yeah, no. So just starting out, longtime listeners, pretty much everyone who like has ever met me knows that I'm a huge Spider-Gwen fan. And so
Mhm.
those first 15 minutes in Spider-Gwen's world are like some of the best things I've ever seen in my entire life. Ugh, they adapted her world aesthetic perfectly. I'm so obsessed with it. I could watch those first 15 minutes forever and ever. I hope we get a Spider-Gwen spin-off. I know that was in the cards when the first one came out, but I haven't heard anything new about it since then, so we'll see.
Yeah. Besides Spider Gwen, are there any other Spider people that you want to see more of in
All of
spin-off
them.
or all
I
of
love
them?
2099. I've loved 2099 since before this. Him and Spider-Gwen used to be my two favorite Spider characters, and they still are. But I love Spider-Punk. He had some of the best lines in the
Oh
movie.
my god, he was phenomenal.
Oh, Spider-Man India's a ton of fun too. I love him. They're just all the best. I love them
They
so
are
much.
all the best.
I want all
Like
of them to have their own movie.
for me personally, it's got to be Spider Noir still. I, I no other Spider, with the exception of maybe Spider T Rex, um, have shaped me quite like Spider Noir. Like
That's
wow,
that's fair.
I could do with so much more of him, and I like the end. I'm excited. Of course, I'll be excited for the next one. But that ending there, where you see Gwen putting together her own team, her own strike force to go and help Miles, and you see Spider-Man India and Noir and Spider-Ham back in it. Like I really hope that that does mean we're getting them all back.
I also hope so. Because on the one hand, I did love, like I said, all of the new Spider-Man. But on the other hand, like, come on,
Yeah,
Spider-Man Noir, let's be real here.
he was so good. Where do you think? Do you think that these actors, such as like John Mulaney and Nicolas Cage, do you think they would have already recorded their lines? Like, what do you think the
I'd
state of Spider-Man Beyond is right
I'd assume so, because it comes out in like 9, 10 months.
now? Yeah, it's less than a year away.
Yeah, so I would assume they already have, but I don't know for sure. We should tweet at Nicolas Cage and see if he responds. I don't even know if Nicolas Cage has a Twitter.
I'll do some research.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this.
We'll get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. The burning questions must be answered.
Dear Nicolas Cage, loved you in Mandy and Color Out of Space and Moonstruck. Those were all films that I saw that you were in them. Your magnum opus remains National Treasure 2 Book of Secrets, but that's another story for another day. And send. All right. All right, folks. I know we hold a lot of power in the movie making business up there in Hollywood, being such a famous podcast with lots of directors, famous directors that listen to us. So if we get any news, either while we're recording or afterwards, we'll let you know. I'm sure Nicolas Cage listens to the podcast.
I'm sure he does. Well, I was the wrong person for this research because I typed in Nicolas Cage Twitter and found official Nick Cage on Twitter with 5 tweets, and one of them is "Hello Twitter," the other one is "Put the bunny back in the box." I don't think this is Nick Cage.
I don't know. Does he have his purchased verified check?
No, he doesn't.
Oh,
But I know that I don't think that's a good indication of just how official it is. There is the official Twitter page for Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
pretty good film, pretty fun film. I just wish we had more Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal just being buddies. That was the best part of that movie.
So, Dominique, you've gone through and you've seen a lot of the movies that have come out so far this
I've
year.
seen so many movies this year. I got Real Unlimited, so I've been seeing basically everything that comes out, whether I am that interested in it or not.
Yeah. And so going back, and I think Dungeons and Dragons is the one we need to talk about.
Yep. We sure do. Yeah, no, it's kind of crazy that because I feel like for both of us, our reviews were pretty much the same when we first saw it together.
Absolutely. Together, yeah.
And just over the course of me watching it more and more, it was my favorite film until Spider-Verse came around, but that was to be expected. But for me, at least, it's definitely the most surprising. Because I obviously Spider-Verse was going to be incredible. Like, I had no doubt about that. But I definitely was not expecting Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves to just become my personality for a solid, 3 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just taking all of my friends back here to see it. Like I said at the beginning, I've seen it in theaters 8 times. I know I'm a bit obsessive with movies. Just, look at how many times I saw Top Gun Maverick.
Sure.
But still, it just kind of came out of the blue, and I'm like, this is actually the dopest thing. So it's a ton of fun. If you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it. It's a good time. It's just a good time. My parents liked it.
It really was just that. I had such low expectations going into it. I think the trailers just did not do it any justice. And it made it look very bland, very generic and Marvel-esque.
Yeah.
But the movie itself is, I think, quite the opposite. It has so much personality, and a lot of that comes from the performances of Hugh Grant and Chris Pine.
Oh yeah.
And really, I think everyone did a good job.
I think so too.
I think it's just fun, and it's what I'd want out of a Dungeons and Dragons movie. As someone who doesn't know much about that world and doesn't have any real connection to it, I've really felt invested, and I'm sure there are countless Easter eggs and I don't know, little in jokes
Yep.
for people who are seasoned Dungeons and Dragons players.
Yeah, no, I went and saw it with David and Anna. And
Oh,
there were
yeah.
like a ton of times where Anna was like pointing out stuff in it that she knows from like making her own campaign and stuff with Katie. And
Mhm,
so I'm
mhm.
like, dang, this movie really just does like appeal to both. You've never played Dungeons and Dragons before. Here's a fun fantasy adventure movie. You have played Dungeons and Dragons a lot. Here's a whole bunch of fun Easter eggs to the world you already know. Pretty
Mhm.
cool. It's a hard line to balance, but they managed.
They managed. And I really do hope we get more Dungeons and Dragons films.
Mhm.
However, I want it to be an anthology. I of course wouldn't complain about seeing these characters again, but I would love for another film to come out and it just be a new group of heroes and a new quest.
I do think that would be really cool. I would also be all for that. Even though I am like I do love just every single character in this movie.
Sure. No, and like I said, I would not complain. I just want another.
Yeah,
That's
no.
all this comes down to. I want
Yep.
another.
Yep. 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 Exactly. Ugh, banger film. I even read the freaking tie-in novels. That's how obsessed I was.
Ah,
Am with this movie. I know. Crazy.
see, I'm now looking here at my little box, moving on a little bit here. I think I need to readjust some of these ratings. Because here I have Dungeons and Dragons on Thieves, which I gave 3.5 stars,
Hmm.
which I think is more of a 4-star movie, thinking back on it. But more so, Shazam Fury of the Gods I gave 3.5 stars. And those two are not the same.
No. No, they sure are not.
So I'm really wondering why this is. Anyway,
Anyway. No, I'm
um,
constantly shaping my lists like top of the year. Even my all time gets shifted around a decent amount.
I shifted around my own. I'm genuinely thinking about putting Across the Spider Verse in my top 50.
It made mine just a couple weeks ago.
I'm I need to go and see what needs to be
The
rearranged.
little spring cleaning.
Yeah, but no, Dungeons and Dragons, great movie, and I agree, the most surprising so
Oh
far.
yeah. Like, yeah, no, I think I was expecting it to be at least fun, but I wasn't expecting it to be like that much fun, you know?
Absolutely,
Good stuff. All right. Uh, have you seen Guardians yet?
I have not.
How have you still not seen Guardians yet?
um, I don't know. That's a good question. I think
Like,
it's a little bit of disinterest in Marvel right now,
uh-huh.
but also just I while it was I don't know, it's still in theaters probably. Anyway, um just as it came out, I wasn't particularly interested in leaving the house. I it was
Fair enough.
it was a little it was a little bit of a rough spot.
Fair
Um
enough.
so it comes down to that, but I think really it is just kind of Marvel right now. I've kind of just lost track of it, and I, I do want to watch it. Like
It's
I love
Guardians of
Guardians.
the Galaxy, my guy.
I know. And Guardians of the
They're
Galaxy
your
is
people.
they are my favorite Marvel movies. And so I agree it is a little strange that I haven't seen it yet. I just I want to.
You should. It was
Right?
pretty good. And that's coming from someone who's not like a huge fan of the Guardians movies, but I like them. It's a great ending. The last like
Sure.
30 minutes are fantastic. And the rest of it was pretty good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I know it was fun standing in line for Sean Gunn because everyone had a ton of Guardians 3 stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And
Bless.
then I just asked him to doodle a picture of Weasel. A picture of his character from Gilmore
Yeah.
watched. But I just liked the picture of them holding a cat, and then he drew his little rendition of Weasel. And that was enough for me.
Very good. That's good stuff. That was good stuff. Very good. Oh man.
Anyway, the Guardians of the Galaxy high on my watch list, and I'm excited to see this. Just
Yeah, it's
I need to
good. What else have we got? Oh, Super Mario Brothers came out
Super
after.
Mario Bros.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Super Mario Brothers yet.
That movie, unlike Dungeons and Dragons, it was exactly what I expected,
It was exactly what I expected.
and that's not a bad thing. I
No,
loved it. It's definitely not. It hasn't. It's not my favorite of the year, but it is up there, top 5 movies of the year, so far.
it's
If not
honestly
top 3. If not top
me who has it down at 11. Yeah, no, honestly, it's weird because like you said, it's exactly what I expected, but I liked it a lot more than I thought I would,
3.
which is weird. But yeah, no, it's just it's a fun little time.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong laughing Seth Rogen's laugh. It's so hilarious.
It was
It's
so
really
off-putting.
funny.
And it's so funny because, like, he comes back on and I'm like, oh man, that's Seth Rogen. I forgot. But then I kind of adjust to it. I get used to it. It just becomes Donkey Kong. And then he
And then he
laughs.
laughs.
And it's
No,
jarring all over again.
no, for real.
And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, good stuff.
No,
Go ahead.
and also keep in mind, I haven't seen as many movies this year as you, but I, it's tough. I don't know if Across the Spider Verse or John Wick 4 is my favorite.
Ooh.
Because holy,
I really
um,
need to watch John Wick 4 again.
I'm excited. I want to go through and just watch all 4
All
of
four
them.
of them? Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm hoping they'll come out with some sort of like collection
Oh, I'm sure
because
they'll.
I want to just get them. Like
Right.
that's just collection I will drop money
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
to own a physical and digital copy, like just one. And then when I do, I will go through and watch them. But now Mario Brothers, I'm big fan of the franchise and the games, and
Yeah. The
it's
soundtrack. Oh
the
my
soundtrack. Oh my
so
gosh.
so good.
Yeah, the next day at work, I popped on. I watched the movie. I go to work, and I just popped on the soundtrack and I listened to it at work. It was so much
Oh
fun.
yeah.
Um,
Because there's two specific moments. The one where they play the like underground world one two theme, and when they do Princess Peach's theme from 64.
yes.
Those two, I'm
Oh
like,
my
oh
gosh.
my god. Such
And
good music.
oh, absolutely. And I adored the Rainbow Road sequence.
Oh yeah, no, that
It's
was
the
actually
biggest,
really
it's the
good.
flashiest, it's probably contributes the least out of anything in the movie, but holy cow. Like just visual diarrhea, but in positive connotation. I don't know. It was just so much, but it was so pretty and so much fun. And I loved it because this is one of the few experiences. And I'm going to tell you about 2 separate movie experiences that I had.
Ooh,
One positive, one negative.
ooh.
So Mario Bros. I saw opening weekend, and the theater was full of kids and their parents. One of the most fun experiences in the movie theater I ever had because this is a kids movie and
Right.
these young kids are dying. They're cracking up. they're laughing at all the goofy little jokes, and you hear kids calling out the names of the different characters. When the shy guy, kid, that's a shy. You know, I love that. It was just fun, and I love that Mario has been around for over 35 years now, and there's every generation gets into it.
Right.
And I think that's great. I think it's
No.
fantastic.
Yeah, no,
When
it totally is.
when he puts on the cat suit, behind us was looking away or didn't see it when he put it on, because a little while in, he's fighting Donkey Kong, and we hear the kid behind us go, "What the heck is that cat thing?" And I lost it. It was such a genuine confusion. Anyway,
That's
I
cute.
love seeing.
That was the same kind of experience I had watching Sonic the Hedgehog 2 last year.
Oh my gosh.
It's fun, yeah.
On the other hand, going to see Spider-Verse for the first time, this has been one of my most anticipated movies. I love the first one. We finally go see it, and we made the terrible decision of going to the mall to see it because we had AMC gift cards on a Saturday. And I gotta teenagers are the worst. They're the literal
true.
worst.
No, yeah.
They were so obnoxious and loud and just kept being super interrupted. Like within 30 minutes of that movie, I turned to Curie and I told her that I wanted to leave because this isn't how I wanted to experience Spider-Verse.
Valid.
And I was so mad like the rest of the day. The movie was so freaking good, but the rest of it, I was just so mad because there were just this group of teenagers in the back who just kept making loud noises and being the worst. It is, on the contrary, it is one of my least favorite movie going experiences I've ever had because it was a movie that I wanted to enjoy so much. But anyway, but luckily I went to go see it again.
There you go.
It was great. It was fun.
Banger.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, no, honestly, solid. I've heard rumors of Illumination doing a Legend of Zelda movie after this. I don't know if I feel good about that, but who knows? We'll see.
It all leads to the Smash Brothers movie. I I'd feel more confident in a Zelda movie than I would a Mario movie, if only
Really?
because Zelda does have a story for the most part.
That's fair.
Especially looking at Ocarina of Time and these later ones, they do have such lore and such depth to the stories and characters.
Right.
Whereas is Mario, none of the games really have a story. Even in the N64 era and going with, like, it was just kind of go save the princess or go stop Bowser from doing X, Y, and Z. And they managed to pull it off quite well here. And so I think Zelda movie with the right people behind it. I think the biggest hurdle they'd have to get over is this, 35-year-long tradition of Link doesn't talk.
That's true.
I think that's the biggest hurdle they'd have to get over. Either they're going to have to really get creative with their storytelling, or they're going to have someone voicing.
Let's get Seth Rogen back.
Seth Rogen is 12-year-old kid. So I don't know. I would be happy if they just did Mario's films, Luigi's Mansion.
I
Do a
would
full-blown
love
Mario
Luigi's
Kart movie.
Mansion. Oh my gosh.
Let's do a Mario Kart movie a la Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm happy with this.
That'd be dope. I'd be here for that too. Man. A plus. Good effort. A for effort.
Be forever, absolutely, absolutely. So now I haven't seen these. I don't know if I will, but you've seen both Disney's Little Mermaid and
Yes.
Pixar's Elemental. You
Yes.
gave them the same rating.
Yes.
What can you tell me about those movies? Because I've heard such mixed things, especially about Little
Yeah.
Mermaid. I
Yeah.
haven't heard a lot about Elemental, but Little Mermaid, I've heard that it's great. I've heard that it's awful.
Yeah. I kind of So what happened for me? So first of all, Little Mermaid, I am a big decrier of the live action remakes that we're doing. I
Mhm.
like I think one of them is good and I like another one and that's it.
Yeah.
I still hold that Beauty and the Beast 2017 is one of the worst things that cinema's ever done.
Mhm.
Although it did result in Emma Stone getting cast in La La Land, so silver linings for sure. But so I went into Little Mermaid, and I think I just kind of like the movie as itself is fine, I guess. Halle Bailey's really good as Ariel.
Mhm.
Melissa McCarthy's a great cast for Ursula. Like it, everyone's good and or fine. But watching it, like our theater that I went to went all out for some reason. Like they hired a guy to play piano in the lobby, the like for hours. Because he was there when I got there and he was there when we left. Like I
Oh
don't
my
know
God.
how much he got paid. But yeah, no. So like they went all out. They had like a little pirate ship display that kids could go take pictures on and that kind of stuff. And then actually watching the movie, I was like, I just kind of figured it hit me that this is not for me, you know.
Mhm.
It's for the kids like Super Mario Bros. It's for the kids that, you know, have either seen Little Mermaid and love Ariel or haven't and got to see The Little Mermaid, like one of their favorite Disney movies in a theater. It's similar, and we'll get to this later. It's similar for me getting to see Michael Keaton in The Flash, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's something I treasure and never thought I'd get to experience in a theater. But thanks to this, I did. And so like the kids that were like dancing in the aisles together, wearing all their Little Mermaid merchandise and that kind of stuff, like it was so cute and wholesome to
Right.
see them get to experience this. So that softened me a lot. It's still pretty like I wouldn't say it's bad. It's if you like The Little Mermaid, then maybe it's worth a watch. Or if you're interested, it's worth a watch. But I think outside of that, it's just kind of like whatever. But the experience of it all kind of turned me over a little bit.
Sure.
Elemental, on the other hand, I think is it's an interesting one because on the one hand, I think it deals with some really interesting um ideas and stuff in its plot, but there's just too much going on. The movie has too many different metaphors it's trying to cram into its plot that doesn't quite fully all come around. I think if they had just stuck to their like because this movie's at its strongest when it's doing its like rom-com thing, which is a high compliment for me because I'm not a rom-com person. But like when it's just focusing on the central romance between the two characters, it's like really good. It's really
Yeah.
sweet and wholesome. But when it tries to do other things as well, while it's handled well, there's not enough time to develop it. So it comes out a little messy by the end. But it was cute. I liked it. But yeah, no. Could have used maybe one or two more rewrites.
Yeah, because I heard that it just hasn't been doing
No, it has not.
that well. I saw that both Flash and Elemental are
Yep.
top of the box office, but neither of them are doing well.
Nope.
So It's wild, you know.
It really is. It's
And
a little surprising.
mhm. And I've been interested because, like, at first, Elemental looked kind of fun. It looked kind of cool. But the more I watched shows, the more I felt like this more than it felt like a movie, it felt like a tech demo. It's
It
like,
is
look at what
very
we can
impressive.
do with our animation. Look at all these different things that we can do. And it looks incredible, like
It, yeah.
visually, but it beyond that, it felt like the substance was lacking.
Yeah. So that's kind of ironic because I'd say it has too much substance.
Interesting.
Juggles too many plates.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's that on those two.
Well, yeah, no, I'm glad that you were able to watch them so that you could report back to us on it.
To all of our dear
All
listeners,
of our dear listeners.
I hope
Um,
I hope no one that was in the film Little Mermaid is hearing this right now. Just kidding.
I
We
see.
liked your movie. It was cute.
I can't get over Aquafina's voice. I've just seen little snippets of it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's too much. I don't, I don't like this.
Yeah, that's something that's been criticized a lot. On the one hand, so for those of you in the know, you guys know that I'm a huge Lin-Manuel Miranda fan of both Hamilton and In the Heights. I love both musicals, and the In the Heights movie is one of my favorite musicals. And it's, on the one hand, really cool that it got to write some of the music for this movie for the new songs, because like watching The Little Mermaid allegedly is what he said was like the movie that inspired him to like write music and do musical theater and stuff. So having it to kind of go full circle like that is cute.
Mhm.
That said, Aquafina rapping was not a good idea. Wasn't a good call. Not a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Well, another one that I haven't seen yet, but gave 5 stars. It's Fast X.
you haven't gone and seen Fast X yet either?
I have. uh, I am not allowed to until I watch 7 and 8.
Ah, I was gonna say, I'm like, Kiri hasn't already dragged you to go see it yet.
No, no,
I
no. She
see,
won't.
I see.
And I've watched a lot of the others, but I have not watched 7 or 8 yet. And when I do, we will watch it.
There we go. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, no. If I go see it again, it'll probably go down to like 3 stars and a heart.
Sure.
But I just had such a good time with how just absolutely bonkers the film was that I was like laughing through most of it. Not
Yeah,
at the
I'm
jokes
sorry.
of the movie, but just because of how ridiculous the movie itself was. So I just had a really, really good time watching it. It was really fun.
Mm,
It's ridiculous. It's nonsense, but it's enjoyable, ridiculous and nonsense.
and another one that I'm really excited to watch is Transformers: Rise of the Beasts,
Yeah.
starring Ron Perlman.
Starring my boy as a big monkey man. Can't get any better than that, baby.
Can't get any better than that. I've heard really good things about it. I've heard that it's the best Transformers movie, which I believe because that's not a real high bar.
Yeah, no, it's not. I recently, in preparation for this, because I hadn't seen any of them except for half of Age of Extinction and the first one. So I watched all of them in preparation for this, and most of them are kind of bad.
Well,
Bumblebee's really cute and wholesome. I loved
I
Bumblebee.
like Bumblebee.
And I ended up really liking The Last Night of all things.
Mm.
I think I might have just been a broken man by the time I got to the fifth one. So I'm like,
No,
sure,
no,
this is a good movie. I don't
It's
know.
got Anthony Hopkins. What else do you want?
It does have it. It's got Cogman. Freaking love Cogman. He's the best Transformer. Ugh. There's just something about, which is kind of like scary if you like actually take the time to think about it, but there's just something about sarcastic robots that is just so funny, you know?
Yeah.
Cogman, K2SO, you know? I just like that kind of character. It's just fun. So yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. The last 30 minutes particularly, I'm like, dang, this is actually like real cool. And yeah, there's a tease at the end that blew my mind.
I'm excited.
It blew my mind, but I'm excited for it too. It's gonna be cool. Hopefully, it'll probably be cool. I imagine it'll be cool. Oh,
Then I do want to touch on Flash. You got this was a big surprise for me. How much I enjoyed the Flash.
I was also surprised at how much you enjoyed the Flash.
I'm a big DC guy.
You are. It's
I've
true.
I'm a big DC guy, and I want DC to succeed, and I want it to do well. And I do love the character of the Flash, and um, it- this is not a perfect.
No.
In fact, the movie itself is really, really rough, and I figured it would be because I remember back in 2016 or so them starting production on the Flash and
Oh yeah.
announcing they're working on the Flash movie, and it went through maybe 5 different directors,
Yep.
and it was in development hell for a long.
Yep.
And then and then to put the cherry on top of already tumultuous filming process, Ezra Miller went off the deep end, and
Boy, did
really,
he.
oh boy did he. And I feel like that's been extremely detrimental to its success at the box office end as well.
Yeah.
All that being said, that aside, this movie is fun.
It's so much fun.
And I knew I was going to be into it from that opening bits of him saving the babies,
Uh-huh.
putting a baby in the microwave. He killed me. I was in hysterics. And you get all of these classic superhero tropes where he's saving people from a hospital. He's saving babies from a hospital. Meanwhile, Batman is chasing down bad guys and he has to stop them before they hit a bus full of children. And it is just a fun little story. And so from the beginning, I knew that I was really good at it.
Yeah.
And I did. But really, the star of the movie is Michael Keaton.
Heck yeah, he is. Whoop, whoop.
He comes back. It's like he never took off the
Oh
suit.
no, no, he's oh my gosh.
And I Curie hadn't seen any of Michael Keaton's Batman movies. So before we saw Flash, we watched 89. Great time. And then we started Batman Returns yesterday. We haven't finished it yet. But we're like 2/3 of the way through.
Was.
And so we're having a great time watching those. We'll finish them tonight. Anyway, so Michael Keaton was this star. Really surprised with how much I liked Supergirl. Wish they gave her more to do.
Yeah.
Wish they gave her more of a character. I thought she looked really cool, and I thought her fighting Zod was awesome. And wish there was
Oh.
more to build upon there.
Yeah. So yeah. We'll talk about that, but I want to get into what I really liked about it too. First of all, I am just obsessed with every scene we can get of the Justice League just being the Justice League. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so that opening sequence of yeah, Batman and the Flash, and then Wonder Woman shows up too. I'm like, see, why didn't we get a Justice League movie like this? What's going on?
Right, right.
It's fine. But yeah, no, I also quite like Supergirl. I like bringing General Zod back because I mean both of us are big Man of Steel fans.
Yeah,
So getting him back was really cool. And yeah, no, Michael Keaton is my favorite Batman. Someone I never thought I'd get to see be Batman
Batman again.
again, but I got to see him
I'm in
be
the theater.
Batman again. Yeah. He was up there doing Batman things. He said, "Let's get nuts."
He said, "Let's
He
get nuts."
said the thing. It was awesome.
And really, like, it is so great to see, Batman fighting guys again with all these modern movie making techniques
Oh
and
yeah.
special effects. So it's like it's Batman. This is how how people remember Michael Keaton
Yeah.
fighting guys, even if it does look fast. This is how it felt,
Yeah.
and awesome.
No, it was great. My favorite gag in the entire thing, like minor spoilers because it happens somewhat late in the movie, but when Barry's wearing like the Batman suit that's now a Flash suit, and his head, like the face gets all messed up because like he
That
tries to turn his head, but the 89 suit infamously could not turn your head, so you had to like move his entire body. That made me laugh so hard. That was
that
such
was
a good reference.
such a great little bit there. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
I loved it. Yeah, no, I agree. It's a bit of a mess of a movie, but it's just it like you're saying, it has a lot of fun stuff going on that
Mhm,
I'm willing to
mhm.
like just go with the ride and just have a
Exactly.
good time.
Exactly.
Um it's I think I already said this to you over Messenger, but I realized watching The Flash and thinking about the whole DCEU that I have a very similar sense of it towards the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Like some of them are really
Yeah.
good, some of them are very bad, and some of them are just kind of films. But I have a certain protective love for each of them. Like I
Yes.
know some of the X-Men movies are very bad. I know some of the DCEU films, even Black Adam, are bad, but I just
Yeah.
they have a certain fighting spirit to them that it's admirable that they've been going on this long.
I agree. I agree. Um, and I get it because you said, I'm a big DC guy. I always want DC to do well, and they have not been. I've always been a big defender of Man of Steel, from the beginning.
Oh yeah.
I think it's awesome. Once again, not perfect. I can't stand Amy Adams as Lois Lane. And then not because it's Amy Adams. I just don't like. I don't like this version of Lois Lane in the slightest. And I think that's what Man of Steel suffers from most from him. But like, Batman v Superman,
I
not a
love
big fan
Batman
of
v
it.
Superman. I'm
Yeah,
a huge
you
fan
are.
of it.
I know you are, but not a big fan of it. But I give it credit where credit is due. And anyway, and so Flash carries on the shit. I think though the reason I like Snyder Cut so much is because it does embody everything the DCEU is,
Yeah.
where it just has been Zack Snyder's vision of this bombastic, over the top version of these characters, and I, in all of its highs and lows, are encapsulated quite well. Um, But no, and I like the Flash, especially, you get a little emotional at the end because it does
Yeah, I
pay
was
homage
yeah, I was
to,
surprised at how emotional I got watching it.
yeah, absolutely. His relationship with his mother and the decision he
Mm-hmm.
had to make at the end, but also just paying homage to the legacy of DC.
Yeah.
Um, these weird CGI cameos that we got were,
We'll get into it.
you know, yes,
We'll get into it in spoilers.
yes. We will get into that. but yeah, it was an emotional thing, and I enjoyed it.
I did too. It was a good amount of fun. It was funny and it was emotional, and I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, no, it's like I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, no, like some of these are some of my favorite superhero movies, like Aquaman and Man of Steel,
Mhm.
Black Adam, because we all know how big of a fan I am of Black Adam. He's very big. I'm a big fan of Black Adam.
Yeah, yeah.
They're just yeah, there's just something to them. And yeah, of course, Zack Snyder's Justice League is incredible. It's real good.
I agree.
Well, shall we do a little bit of spoilery fun?
Let's spoil some stuff.
Do we want to start with the big one?
Let's start with the big one.
What the heck?
Please, please tell me he is Batman going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've seen this already, but if not, this is your own fault. George Clooney is back. I I hope that this means that George Clooney is Batman going forward. That we see Batman Brave and the Bold with George Clooney.
Oh my gosh, I'm literally trying to think of when the last time I was this surprised by a cameo,
Oh,
and it's definitely been like a number of years. Like
it's
a
cameos
number
have
of
been
years.
spoiled and they get
Hmm.
hyped up. So even stuff like in Doctor Strange,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, no.
people hype it up. You are expecting these
Yeah.
cameos.
Like seeing Professor X was awesome. Seeing Anson Mount back as Black Bolt was really unsurprising and I liked it. But none of them got even close to the
Not
like how close I got to just swearing aloud when the
yeah,
man showed up on screen.
because I'm sitting there and I'm like, who is it? You know, is Michael Keaton back? Is
Yeah, because I'm like,
awesome.
it doesn't sound like Ben Affleck. So I'm like, I figured it was
Yeah,
Keaton.
but nothing
God.
prepared me for George Clooney to show his beautiful face on that big screen.
Nope, me either. I'd even heard, like I remember a while ago, there's a rumor floating around that that was what was going to happen, that they were going to bring in George Clooney to be the new Batman. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, that's ridiculous. They're just drumming up drama to, get some clicks.
Yeah, but if anyone deserves a second chance, he needs another go at that.
Yeah, no, for real.
And
I agree.
so absolutely just
Ooh.
that was really big for me, got me excited.
That was
Um so but no, the CG cameos during the
yeah.
multiverses colliding, it was, you know, like a lot of the CGI, really jarring,
Uh-huh.
but it's fun to see Christopher Reeve again.
Nicholas
It
Cage, dude.
Nicholas
That
Cage.
was so cool.
It started playing, and I turned to Kira. I think that's Nicholas Cage. I just saw the hair. You
Yeah,
don't
no,
see his
yep,
face for a
yep.
while, but I'm
I'm
like,
like,
that's got to be.
yeah, I've seen him in his testing outfit. Like, I know
Yes,
what that looks like.
I know what that looks like. And sure enough, it turns around and you get weird CG 90s Nicholas Cage, and I lose my mind.
Yeah, no, I was pretty excited about that one. Of
You
all
know,
the
and
movies that have been never made, Superman Unbound is one of like the ones in my mind. Like, I would have loved to
I
see
would have
that.
loved to see, even if it was awful.
Exactly. It's
It
such a
is one of
curious
those.
idea. I love it.
Yeah. And then of course, shout out to my boy Adam West. Very brief,
Yeah.
but I love seeing anything giving some love to Batman 66.
Yep. I was also super hyped for that. It was dope. It was nice getting to see Christopher Reeves and Helen Slater, I believe.
I think so.
as the like 84 Supergirl. That was something I wasn't expecting to have both of them there. But I'm like, oh, that's a nice nod and stuff. But yeah, no, West and Cage were definitely the ones I'm like, no,
Yeah,
let's freaking go.
DC going forward. I don't know what to make of Aquaman at this point. I don't know. Is that movie actually coming out?
Yeah, it's coming
Is
out. Is it later? It was
it's
later this
supposed
year,
it's
but did it get
I,
moved?
I don't know. I think it was I haven't heard anything about it getting moved. So as far as I know, it's still coming out like December of this year. But I hope we start seeing a trailer or some sort of promotional stuff giving us an idea because the end credit scene in Flash with Aquaman, like, is he Aquaman still? Like, or like, is this movie going to be more of a sequel to 2018's Aquaman, or is this going to be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't know where they're going with this, and I'm really nervous.
yeah. It says it's still coming out this December. So yeah, no, I also don't know because for me, one of the things that I was disappointed by, and I guess that's my personal expectations rather than anything the movie should have to do, but I was expecting for this whole timeline thing to be cleared up, and it was not
Yes,
in the slightest.
not at all. And I feel like, yes, that is partially our fault, but I also feel like they were kind of hinting that this is going to be it. This is the one that's going to reset the timeline
Right.
and kick off a new era. And it, I think, reset the timeline,
It
but now it
probably
doesn't
did.
answer
No,
anything. It doesn't
no.
give us any sort of hint as to what's to come.
Yeah. So I'm intrigued.
Mhm, mhm.
Are you gonna catch Blue Beetle when it comes out?
Of course, I love Blue Beetle.
Yeah, I was figuring.
I I'll be honest, the trailer once again does not make it look
Does
good.
not look good. One of my
Not at all.
friends, when we were watching something, I don't remember what we were watching, but we're watching a trailer for Blue Beetle, and my friend said that it looks like it's a movie made for like Nickelodeon.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm like,
Like,
yeah.
much like Black Adam, it looks like a movie that should have come out of a different time.
Yep.
Like, we have seen origin stories all too many times now. Like, this this is the exact same origin story as Venom. This is the exact same origin story as, Spider-Man. Like, this is the most boring, generic looking origin story. But I gotta support Jaime Reyes.
Yeah.
Like, Blue Beetle is such a cool character, and I of course always love that trope of the bat, having your powers be its own alternate personality, Venom,
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Fate. Like, so I love that conflict. But the movie looks really, really bland.
Yeah.
So I want to see it. I'm planning on seeing it. But I'm not expecting much, but I'm hoping, much like Dungeons and Dragons, it turns out to be a lot more.
Yeah. We'll see. It's apparently the first movie of the
Which
DCU,
which
which is
worries me. Which
still
worries me.
confusing.
But I will say I like the look of Blue Beetle.
I do too. It's a very good translation. Like it's almost one to
Very good
one.
translation. So that, and I do love that the final shot in the trailer where he finds the big old sword and flips it around
Yeah.
his shoulder. Like, that's slick. I'm down for that.
We'll see.
So we'll we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see
Really,
where it
I
all
think
goes.
the big one is going to be Superman uh Legacy.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be the precedent for DC. That's going to set my excitement level. Like, if that movie is everything I hope it to be, then I will be overjoyed and be first in line for all the movies from DC going forward. but
Is James Gunn still directing it? I know
he's
he's writing
directing
it.
it.
He's directing it too. Okay.
Because I love Superman and I want him done well. And as much as I love Man of Steel, I, I I'm not a huge fan of how they do Superman in a lot of ways.
Right.
It's a little too dark and brooding for my
Yeah.
liking. So I want to see a more colorful and optimistic Superman, and yeah, I want it to be fun.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see where it goes. But for now, The Flash, pretty entertaining. Pretty all right.
Absolutely. Yep.
I
Very
am
pleasantly surprised.
I am kind of sad that, and I think someone pointed this out because there was apparently like 3 different endings they filmed for the 3 different people that were in charge of Warner Brothers over the course of this movie being in post-production. And the second one, I think, the one before James Gunn came in, was with Supergirl and Keaton as Batman back. And I would have liked, not that I don't like the ending as we have it, but I would have
Sure.
liked that because it is kind of rough having the 2 of them just die over and over and over. And that's
Yeah,
the
and
last
then
we really see of them.
yeah, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, no, this universe, it's doomed, man. This world, it's gone." And you're like,
Yep.
"Wait a sec." And then they just kind of keep going with it, and you're like, "Wait a second, what?
I'm like, oh,
Did they lose this?
sad.
Like, oh man." So no, I agree.
That's little because I do obviously I love Keaton's Batman, but I quite like Supergirl too. Like I wanted to see these characters succeed and not
Yes,
just
yes.
die.
So we've gotten some really good movies so far this year,
Yeah.
and I think we'll try to keep. We've talked a lot about what we're excited for.
Yeah.
And so we'll try to keep this relatively short, but we got to go into some of these again and just reiterate our excitement for them. Dominique, Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible. Your boy has tickets for the pre-showing. Your boy has tickets for the fan event the Monday before it comes out in Pocatello. Your boy is so freaking hyped. I just started rewatching all of them for
Yeah.
before I go and see it.
that.
I just watched the first one yesterday, I think, and forgot just how freaking really good the first Mission Impossible is.
It's really good.
It's
It holds up
really
quite
good.
well.
It's impressive. Like it's definitely more in the spy vein, and I know this in my review. It's definitely more in the spy vein than the Tom Cruise tries to kill himself in various fun ways that the series is kind of known for now. But like, it's really tense, really, very twisty of a story. It's really good. Brian De Palma's camera is perfect for the genre and the tone that the movie is going for. Like, wow, it's really good. So
Yeah.
mad excited for Mission Impossible. I'm probably gonna see it at least 3 times opening week.
And that's something that I'm really excited to see is just keep track of how many times you go and see it.
It's gonna be a lot.
That's what I'm figuring. That's what I'm hoping.
I was asking my friends, like, hey, I got the day off for the Monday showing because I'm gonna go, I'm seeing it as soon as I can.
Absolutely.
Just talking to my friends, I'm like, I know you guys will have work, but you guys get off earlier than I do because you work a normal 9 to 5 while I work the night shift or evening shift, I guess. Do you guys want to go see it? And they're like, well, we might have to close that day. We don't know. We'll burn that bridge when we get there. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no worries. And then one of them was like, I'm sure you'll drag us to it whether or not we go see it Monday or Friday. And I'm like, that is a good point because you are right. I am gonna drag you to it no matter when it is. So yeah, no, it's gonna be at least like 3 times Like I'm probably gonna see it Monday in Pocatello, Tuesday
Yeah.
for the pre-show, and then go see it Wednesday as well, because that's our usual hangout day. I'll drag my friends to go see it from work. So yeah, it's probably gonna be
I'm excited.
so yeah, no, that's definitely my number one most hyped film. Followed closely by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I'm still super excited for.
Yeah, no, July's gonna
Yeah.
because you got
Now,
Mission Impossible, and then the following weekend is the weekend,
yep,
the showdown of the
Barbie and
century.
Oppenheimer, dude. I'm
Bobby
so
versus.
excited.
I'm pumped. I'm in it. We're doing the double feature.
Me too.
Like it's so exciting that we're finally getting both of these movies. That if you know they're a major star in Hollywood right now, they're either in Oppenheimer or Barbie.
Pretty much. Yeah,
What?
no, seriously.
Oppenheimer or
Oppenheimer?
Barbie?
Yeah.
Oppen-
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer and Barbie. Oh boy. So anyway, just gonna be a clash of the Titans, but they're both getting them. So
I'm super excited. Now, Durin, I have a
yeah.
question for you.
Mhm.
What movie coming out this year are you most excited for?
My dude, it has not changed. November 3rd, Dune Part 2, my man. I've watched the trailer so many times. Oof. Yeah, undoubtedly, most anticipated movie is Dune Part 2.
Valid. I'm also really excited for it. I mean the first Dune is it's so cool.
It's
Like
so
it's been since Lord of the Rings that we've had this epic of a adaptation, maybe just epic in general, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
Like there's just such a grand scale to it that movies haven't really done for a while.
I agree. And I think this one is really going to crank it up, and
Oh
I
yeah.
think we are going to get this epic sci-fi war film. And um, I'm I really couldn't be that more excited for it.
Yeah.
It's so I don't need to get me going on it, but really, Dune Part 2, I can't wait to see Christopher Walken.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
so excited.
Yeah.
But some other ones that I'm really excited for that I keep forgetting coming out, but every time I remember, I'm like, holy crap, that's coming out. Haunting in Venice.
Dude, I'm so pumped. Oh, I mean, you know your boy's a big Hercule Poirot fan, and
Oh boy,
I'm
yeah.
so here for like a more supernatural vibe to a murder mystery. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. And I really I go into these and I know next to nothing. I do not know Agatha Christie as much as I'd like to, and so I don't know how this looks like it compares to the story. But man, just I am so here for it. That trailer just
Oh
looks
yeah.
so good,
Oh yeah.
and and yeah, I agree. TMNT is I.
Oh yeah. Are you really excited for Craven the Hunter, as mentioned at the beginning of this podcast?
Not not particularly. I'll be
Really?
honest.
Interesting. What an interesting take. This is
I,
very
I'll,
surprising.
to give you a level of my excitement, I I do not own a PlayStation, but I am more curious how they'll do Craven the Hunter in Spider-Man 2, the
Uh-huh.
game, than I am in the movie. And I probably am not going to be able to play it at least for quite some time because
Yeah.
I do not own a PlayStation.
I need to
But
save up and
man,
get a
that good
PS4.
man that game looks good.
Oh, it looks so good. Yeah, I'm saving up and gonna trade in or sell my PS4 so I can get a PS5 solely so I can play Spider-Man 5 or Spider-Man 2, which,
Yeah,
funnily enough, was the reason I got my PS4 was so I could play the original Spider-Man.
yeah.
So there you go.
So yeah, Dominic, you should stream it.
I should stream it. You're right.
I'd love to watch you play it.
I'll do it. I'll even put it on this channel, for all of our
Cool.
many viewers.
Oh, many viewers. Our lovely viewers.
Our lovely viewers, except for Steven Spielberg. Can you believe he called me in the middle of the night asking if I'd gotten tickets for Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken? I told him no. I'm gonna go watch Indiana Jones, the film he started. And he's like, oh, you should go see Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken by DreamWorks instead. I'm like, Steven, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Go home, go to bed, delete this number. I don't have the time.
That being said,
Constantly.
we've lost a significant amount of funding for.
Yeah, but we got Wussy Anderson
We got Wissy
back us up
Anderson.
now, so
Yeah.
we're doing all right. And
We're doing
GDT is still here hanging out.
Of course, going strong.
Yeah, no. Oh yeah, no. Me and GDT are tight.
Shout out to Pinocchio.
Oh man. Anyway.
Donnie, do you have any other thoughts? Any other big predictions for best movie of this year, or anything else
Best
you'd like to close
movie?
us out with?
I'm intrigued because I was actually just thinking about this earlier today because last year was an incredible year for what's the word, like prestige films, I guess. I
Mhm.
was on top of it, and I'd seen most of the films that were nominated for Best Picture last year by the time they were nominated. But this year, I feel like for instance, last year, Everything Everywhere All at Once and Top Gun Maverick had already come out, and I already knew that both of those were fantastic. And Everything Everywhere won most of the things, but I feel like I don't have anything for a clear frontrunner yet. And so I've been keeping my ear to the ground, trying to watch more of the like awards and film festival movies that are available, but I haven't really seen a whole bunch. So I'm trying to fix that. I've been in the middle of watching a butt ton of Star Trek, so that's been the main
Nice.
thing. It's been great. I've Strange New Worlds is a fantastic TV show if you ever get the chance. Um, it just started its second season last week, and I am loving it so much. But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm excited to see um Indiana Jones, even though I know some of us here are not excited to see Indiana Jones. But that's okay. Um we'll see how it all turns out, you know what I'm saying? We'll see where we go. But yeah, no, I don't think there's a ton more that I'm really excited for. I'm intrigued by the Haunted Mansion film.
Me too.
I'm intrigued by it, if only because the cast is really good.
Yes, I agree. The cast is really
Cast
cool,
really good.
and I'm a big fan of Rosario Dawson.
Yep, me too.
I like Owen Wilson a lot.
Yep. No,
So if only for those two, I'm intrigued. But it's coming.
yep. I mean, Danny DeVito, Lakeith,
Damn, yeah.
Owen Wilson, I'm intrigued.
No, exactly.
Um, I keep
When does
forgetting
that
there
one come out?
sometime in according to this, it comes out July 28th, the week
Oh,
after Oppenheimer and Barb's.
wait, this. Oh, so the same weekend as the Marvels.
Doesn't the Marvels not come out until like November?
Does it? Oh, it got
Yeah,
delayed again. I haven't
yeah, it got
updated
delayed
my
again.
calendar.
You're good, you're good. I keep forgetting that there's a second Meg coming out. I'll probably see.
We saw the trailer for that in the theater, but
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, there's not a ton. I'm planning on me and Max are planning on driving down to Utah to watch Trolls 3 when it comes out with
wow,
Ben.
yeah,
But yeah, no, there's not a ton more that I'm like really excited about. There's plenty I'll go see, of course.
sure, sure.
But yeah, no, outside of Dune and TMNT, that's about it post July.
Yeah,
No.
It's exciting. This year really has been off to a great start for
Oh
us,
yeah.
and it's had its fair share of flops, but I think it's had more success than it has not,
Yeah. Do you have
at least for
any
me.
do you have any thoughts, ideas, whatever on the whole both Elemental and Flash kind of flopping this past weekend?
Um, I think they're both flopping just for different reasons. I don't think there's anything necessarily in the industry or going on right now that's directly affecting them. I think
Hmm.
both of them just are affected by one elemental. Just actually, I don't know what's going on with elemental. Besides that, it just doesn't look that good.
Hmm.
But like why it's been just flopping um, is kind of interesting. But ultimately, I do think it comes down to that people are becoming less and less willing to just spend money on things that they probably may or may not like,
Hmm.
and it just yeah, it looks like exactly that, something that people are probably just could be okay, but are they really going to drop that much money to
Yeah.
go see it? And especially if you are taking your kids,
Go
this is
watch
a kids movie.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no.
Spider-Verse. So, and then with Flash, I think honestly, it's it's flopping because of a lot of reasons. People just aren't as interested in DC anymore. DC has kind of lost the good graces of a lot of people,
Mhm.
and so people are just not really interested. Ezra Miller does not have the good graces of anybody.
No, no, it is not.
And I think superhero movies, just in general, over the past 2 years or so, have been way more hit or miss than they used to.
Mm.
And I don't want to throw around the word superhero fatigue because I don't really think that's a thing. I think more than the audience is fatigued with superheroes, I think the studios are creativity
Yeah.
fatigued.
It's not the superhero movies, it's that they're just not that good.
Exactly.
Like Spider-Verse has so many superheroes in it, and it's awesome because it's a
Is
great movie.
Yes, and it's doing numbers. People are loving it. It's gotten a lot of traction online and by word of mouth. Like it is great. It is not because people are tired of superheroes.
Yep.
So it's not superhero fatigue, it's creativity fatigue. And even though I think Flash is a lot of fun and has some great creativity, I think there are more, and I think there is a very loud portion of people who just don't like DC and
Yeah.
will complain very loudly online about how terrible DC is, and
Yeah.
will look for any excuse to be very vocal.
Yeah. No.
And
Yeah.
so and you know and that can be for any number of reasons, because they're Marvel fanboys, or because they fired Henry Cavill, or you
Which
know
is still not an opinion we agree with.
no,
Henry
not at
Cavill
all.
should have stayed, but
The problem is there are lots of valid reasons
yeah.
to be upset with DC and with Warner Brothers right now.
Yeah.
And it just happens to be that there is a very vocal group of people who make make it hard to continue to be a fan of DC.
No, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
So I think Flash just has a lot going against it.
Hmm.
And even if Ezra Miller wasn't a psycho and a convicted felon, this movie would be fighting an uphill battle.
No, yeah, no, I do agree. What are your thoughts on the take that I heard a couple months ago that The Flash is the greatest DC film since The Dark Knight, which is not something or comparison I've ever heard before now. Never. Not with one DC film.
No, absolutely not. It's definitely on the better end,
I agree.
but I think the best DC movie since The Dark Knight is Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Agreed. Yeah, no.
But followed by Wonder Woman, the first one.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I just think it's
And
funny how often that trope or that line gets trotted out every time. Not
I
every
think
time.
it really is DC just really, really trying to salvage this movie
I
for
think
all it's worth.
so.
And they're just throwing out buzzwords on the internet.
No, I agree. I agree completely.
I mean, it's one of the most excited I've been for Batman, Sam, since Dark Knight.
For sure.
Like bringing Michael Keaton back is pretty astounding. But best DC movie since there have been really really good ones.
Yeah. And I mean, we all know that the true inheritor of the best DC film since The Dark Knight is Black Adam. So
Anyway, ladies, no, I wanted to enjoy it. If there weren't for just a couple of
Yeah.
things in that movie, I would have enjoyed it so much more because I get it. That movie was so much fun, and it like we've talked about so much. It's a movie from a different time period.
It really was
Like
or is.
and as an early 2000s, if this came out alongside
It would have
X-Men,
banged so
it
hard.
would have banged so
Oh
hard.
my
And
gosh.
you know, and then on top of that, Hawkman and Doctor Fate are not talked about enough.
They aren't. I went out and picked up a Hawkman Pop Funko just the other day, just because I'm like, you know what? I have my Black Adam one, but I need a Hawkman one on that.
And I have
And
my
you have your
Doctor
Dark
Fate
Fate
that
one.
you sent me as a gift, and I absolutely love. I have it sitting out here by the TV, and so I can just see it every day and think of you every day.
Just
good. Anyway, so if it weren't for a couple things, that movie would have been way up higher.
Yeah. No, I do agree. It really does. And I am infamously a big lover of that era of superhero movie.
Sure.
So, yeah. No, yeah, I agree. But yeah. Anyways, Flash, pretty all right.
Pretty all right.
Pretty all right.
Yeah.
George Clooney was in it. It was crazy.
Nicolas Cage.
Wild. Nicolas Cage was in it.
Which is almost even more wild.
It really is. Oh, man.
There are lots of wild movies to come.
Yeah.
And we are at the edge of our seats waiting for some of these movies to end. And we love doing this. We love talking about movies.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to share our thoughts and our experiences with you guys. So if you haven't already, please follow us on Letterboxd, Jetpack Cat 076 and Shadow Spider 004.
Fire reviews every time.
Fire reviews every time.
Fire.
Every time. And keep listening. We love having you guys. We appreciate you if you've listened this long. We know we talk a lot. We know we get off on tangents, but we love doing this because we're passionate. We're a couple of passionate
about it, baby.
For movies, for each other. We're passionate.
Yeah, heck yeah. Passionate truly is the only word that fully expresses the
Yeah, no. One of the biggest compliments I've gotten is like someone described me as a passionate person. I really like it.
I've also had people describe me as that, and I also appreciate it. I'm like,
just passionate. We're gonna change our podcast to Passionate Oofaloos.
Or well, we could change it to Electric Passion.
Ooh. Oh man, Electric Passion. That's going to be our band name too. We've been distracted too many times.
We'll be back soon enough.
Soon enough. I have my laptop up and running.
Yeah.
Should be good to go.
Next week, we'll talk about how much we love The Godfather.
The Godfather.
Will we? You're gonna have to listen to find out.
You're gonna have to wait to find out. And Dominique, it's a pleasure as always.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure talking, my guy. I love it.
All right. And with that, thanks for listening.
Peace, everyone. Do good.
Bye.
Bye.